زملائي وأعزائي
I'm very
من
pleased to have
مختلف
this
البرلمانات
opportunity to share this
وأتمنى
special
أن
time
تكون
with all
لنا
of you, dear colleagues from the different
مناقشات
parliaments, and I
مثمرة
hope that we
خلال هذه
can
الجلسة.
engage in fruitful discussions during this session.
أيها الزملاء، سنواصل الآن الجزء الثاني من الجلسة
Dear
الأولى.
colleagues, we will continue now the second part of
في
session 1.
الجزء الأول ركزت المناقشة على استخدام التحول الرقمي كأداة لتحفيز التنمية المستدامة وتحسين أداء المؤسسات البرلمانية. وفي الجزء الثاني سنسلط الضوء على التجارب خاصة للبرلمانات الوطنية ونشارك أفضل التجربات والممارسات. ويسرني أن أتوجه إلى المحاضرين وأن أعرفكم على البرلمانيين الشباب منهم. على يميني السيد ماريوس ماتيو، عضو مجلس النواب ليتوانيا، نائب رئيس لجنة الشؤون الأوروبية. وعلى يساري السيد جون ميتو من كينيا. السيد جون ميتو من كينيا. السيد ميتو أصغر برلماني منتخب بمجلس الشيوخ والموارد الطبيعية. أيضا سيلتحق بنا عبر الفيديو السيد براندو بانيفي، عضو البرلمان الأوروبي، نائب أوروبي إيطالي في العهدة الثانية ورئيس المجموعة الحزب الديمقراطي ومقرر لجنة الذكاء الاصطناعي. لقد عرضت السيدة كاسترو حالة المكسيك في الجزء الأول من هذه الجلسة، لذلك يسرني الآن أن أعطي الكلمة إلى السيد ماريوس من ليتوانيا. تفضل سيدي.
Dear hosts of the conference, honorable young members of your respective parliaments representing a variety of countries across the globe, it is truly a great honor and pleasure to me to participate at the 9th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians. And so just to quickly introduce myself, as it was said, I'm the youngest member of Lithuanian Parliament, member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and a Vice Chair of European Affairs Committee, member of Youth and Sports Commission. So I don't recall myself as a somewhat expert on digital transition now. And I can say that we can always go into a more abstract, rather philosophical discussion on how digitalization shapes our societies and what challenges it brings, AI, for example. But I would rather leave it for Q&A if there's any, or informal chatting. Instead, let me quickly, hopefully, introduce some of the practices of digital transition in my country, Lithuania, initiatives that I would consider to be successful, and maybe this will spark some ideas for you. So first, our ambition is to fully consolidate the state IT infrastructure so that the state information resources, services and processes of public institutions are managed centrally, efficiently and safely. For example, in 2020, only 25 governmental institutions used centralized IT services, and from this year, July, this number has risen to 136, and by the end of centralization, 325 institutions should be using centralized system. That's basically all of them. The consolidation of IT infrastructure fundamentally changes the principles of a government digital infrastructure, as all participating institutions no longer need to invest in their own infrastructure. For example, to buy servers, data storage, data networking equipment, or to set up data center facilities. They receive all the necessary IT infrastructure resources centrally. This means greater efficiency, flexibility, and security in the services provided. From already mentioned benefits like the security and reliability, which are extremely important, in order to avoid foreign interference, there is also a financial value. The current centralization of IT services that should be finished by 2026 should result in cutting the expenses for IT by 30%. So one of the priorities for the program obviously is to improve the digital skills of socially vulnerable groups. This priority aims that 90% of population uses the internet by 2030. Socially vulnerable groups include elder people, those on lower incomes, people with disabilities, etc. Who are the least likely to use digital technologies and who have the lowest basic digital skills? So the priority is foreseen to be financed by the Recovery and Resilience Facility and the state budget. RRF is the European Commission project, for those who are not familiar. So to be more specific, we have an e-government gateway platform. This is a web page where it is possible to get information, fill forms, register for health or other public services, pay all kinds of bills, declare income, start a company, etc. There are 39 categories, different categories ranging from enlisting to the military to registering kids for the kindergarten. Currently, almost 62% of all possible governmental services are available to be accessed online. We also do have an e-residency status to offer. How it works. So, for example, a foreigner who seeks to use any administrative, public or commercial services provided electronically, remotely, in the Republic of Lithuania may submit an application for the status of electronic resident of the Republic of Lithuania. It is the third year that Lithuania has been providing the service, and we are delighted to have more than 300 e-residents worldwide. For example, Taiwan's Digital Affairs Minister Audrey Tang became Lithuanian e-resident while she visited Lithuania. A few words on the creation of Digital Embassy. We moved copies of critical system data outside the territory of Lithuania to the infrastructure of reliable suppliers and created a disaster recovery site for critical systems, from which, if necessary, especially given a very tense geopolitical situation, they could be launched and put into operation in the shortest possible time. This is a unique initiative. Also, we are constantly searching for smart ways to promote digital innovations. Lithuania has planned to implement projects aimed at creating Lithuanian language resources for creating artificial intelligence solutions. Digital language resources will be adapted to advanced technology solutions and will ensure the availability of AI-based services to the public. For example, virtual assistants dominating the market, speech robots, smart home systems, and etc. To continue, Lithuania has notified an electronic identification scheme for issuing identity cards of the Republic. The electronic identification scheme has been confirmed to meet a high assurance level in line with the requirements of EIDIS regulation. This allows citizens of the Republic of Lithuania to use cross-border services provided electronically in another member state of the European Union, for example, as well as to persons in member states who have a notified e-identification tool to benefit from Lithuanian cross-border provision of e-services. Can I conclude?
Dear colleague, you still have 1 minute only. Thank you.
Just 1 minute.
1 minute. Very good. So I will just conclude. There's many initiatives I can talk for hours about, lots of achievements in our region, but I would invite you to cooperate, learn from our good practices, and share your own success stories of digital transition. Therefore, last but not least, most of us, I believe, we should be also keen to expand and strengthen the cooperation on.
A number of innovative startups have earned Nairobi Dynamics ICT, seen as the nickname the Silicon Savannah. Honorable Rapporteur, part of the reason why we, as the people of Kenya, the people of East Africa, and the people of Africa, and most of the people who are here, must pay very serious attention to digital transformation, is the fact that the population of the Republic of Kenya, 63% of the people of Kenya are the young people, all below 35 years. And we project that by 2030, our demand for skilled labor will require that everybody must have digital skills. So for that particular reason, Honorable Rapporteur, we must be deliberate in our efforts to ensure that we impact the digital knowledge to all the people of Kenya, especially the young people. And in this regard, Honorable Rapporteur, we have to be a multi-pronged state and nation, both in the continent and the people who are represented in this particular forum. And in this regard, Honorable Rapporteur, the people of Kenya, in their medium-term development goal, the government has set a target of doing over 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic in the Republic of Kenya. Over and above that, Honorable Rapporteur, Kenya has taken, as it was defined by the UNEP representative yesterday here, that it is easier to impact this digital knowledge on our younger generation than it is to do it on the older generation. We have trained over 60% of our teachers and distributed over 260,000 digital devices to our elementary institutions, that is the primary school and secondary school, so that we try and impact this knowledge on the learners at their very, very early age. It is fair again to say that in the Republic of Kenya, we intend to, by 2025, ensure that we have digital laboratories in all our 2,450 villages, so that you can provide computers and digital devices for those without devices in that Republic of Kenya. You understand, Honorable Rapporteur, that part of the challenges that we have is that very many people are not able to have digital devices, even if they have the digital skills. Again, Honorable Rapporteur, we have employed digital skills, and our digital economy is really thriving in the fact that initially we were depending on the analog financial systems in the Republic, and as it is now, we have really tried to move from, and you know, Kenya is a success story in terms of mobile money banking, with our mobile money trade led by our model of the M-Pesa, transacting over $29 billion in one financial year of 2022, which was more or less over 50% of all the transactions that happened in that particular republic. We have also introduced, this new government has also introduced, the government of Dr. William Ruto has introduced an easier access to financial support to our citizens by bringing a program that is referred to as the Hasra Fund, that people can be able to apply for easier, and they can be able to access easier financial services through our mobile platform. They just apply and they are able to get financial support. Honorable Rapporteur, as a country, we also know and we understand that part of the challenges that we have is connectivity. And in this regard, then, we aspire to do over 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots in the Republic of Kenya. And this will be, first of all, we try and push them to all the markets in the Republic, all the schools in the Republic, all the hospitals in the Republic, such that a person that is going to a hospital, Honorable Rapporteur, will be able to, a person that is running a hospital will be able to access drugs from all over. Honorable Rapporteur, you also need to understand that Kenya is more of an agricultural country. And as it is now, we are able to offer agricultural support to our farmers. A person that is requesting for government subsidized fertilizer, they do not need to spend a lot of time looking for the government fertilizer. They only have a platform on their phone. They are able to apply for that fertilizer.
Mr. Just 1 minute, please.
All right. Finally, because our time is almost over, because these are parliamentarians that I'm addressing here, and I've listened to all the discussions that have been happening throughout the day, we then must be very deliberate. And because the people who are here are young legislators, you must know that we have a bigger generational burden on our backs, unlike all the other people that we left at home. That the people that we left at home, the youth, are really looking at us. However much you want to speak, if we do not push resources to that particular talk that we are saying here, then we have been very unfair to the people that we left at home. We are the people that are charged in ensuring that we deal with our national budgets, so we must be deliberate in ensuring that we follow the money to the good and flowery words that we are speaking in this particular forum. Thank you very much.
شكرا لك سيد ميتو على
Thank
هذه
you very much,
المداخلة
Mr.
القيمة
Metu, for this
ونحن نقول يا
presentation.
نشأ أنت رجاؤنا وبك الصباح قد
We
اقترب.
always like to
نحضر
say
الآن
that
إلى
we hope
مداخلة
and we have vested our highest hopes in our parliamentarians.
السيد برناردو بينيفي
I would like
الذي
to give the
سيكون
floor now
حاضرا
to Mr.
معنا
Brando Benife,
عبر تقنية الفيديو.
who will be joining us by
وندعو
video message.
السيدة سينتيا للالتحاق
And we call upon
بنا إلى
Ms.
المنصة.
Cynthia to
شكرا لك.
stand on this podium. Thank you.
Nice to meet you all, although virtually. I'm sorry I cannot be with you in this important occasion of exchange between parliamentarians and especially young parliamentarians. But I hope that this short video message will anyway give some insights and some ideas, some food for thought on a topic I'm working on, especially in this moment, in this last year of my mandate as European Parliament member. My name is Brando Benifei. I'm the rapporteur of the European Artificial Intelligence Act, our regulation that will pose first in the world an horizontal regulation of AI intake in our society, in our markets, in our lives, public administration, private sector, etc. This legislation will be approved finally, realistically, at the beginning of the next year. And our hope is that it will become a cornerstone, or anyway, an element, an important standpoint for the global discourse around artificial intelligence. The idea behind these norms is that we should learn from what we have already done in these last years around AI to mitigate risks, to identify possible dangers, and in this way enlarge the opportunities, use AI to reduce inequalities and enlarge freedoms, and keep into control all the possible risks for data, for personal security, for risk of surveillance, damage that could derive from the use of AI in specific contexts that are particularly delicate, like civil and social rights, the administration of justice, the growth of children, and we could take many examples out of the list that we have prepared on the so-called high-risk artificial intelligence use cases that we particularly focus on with this regulation. We even identify use cases that we consider to be too risky, that we want to ban. For example, the predictive policing. This is in the proposal of the European Parliament, as well as emotion recognition for workers and students that now we are negotiating with the member states, because as you know, the European Parliament approves its text, but then in the European Union legislative procedure, then we have to negotiate a final text with the member states' representatives. As I said, our idea was to bring together existing practices around risk mitigation and identification of best practices to reduce risks for people and enlarge opportunities around AI, also with support for small businesses, new business ideas with the so-called sandboxes, etc. And in this way, we wanted to bring this into a law. We wanted to not rely only on voluntary commitments, on recommendations, on voluntary schemes. We wanted to have a real law. We will see if this model works. We think it is needed to have a actionable by consumers, citizens, businesses, regulation that then protect them from abuses of AI and instead bring them in by giving trust, by building understanding, learning, competences around AI intake in our society. I think it will be especially important that younger politicians, parliamentarians work together so that we can build a common language. We have, for example, worked on a definition that is of AI systems that is based on the work of the OECD. This already encompasses a series of countries, obviously not all the world, but we are also discussing at UN level, as many of you know. And I think it will be very important that although we might have different solutions, laws, recommendations, voluntary schemes, that we build some common languages on the definition, on the idea of risk, on the idea of a series of different levels of risks that the AI can pose, so that we don't over-regulate where it's not needed, but we also put the right norms where some regulation is needed. So I really believe that the international dialogue, parliamentary dialogue, will be crucial. I've done it already in this work with some parliamentarians from other parts of the world, and I think it will be crucial so that we can together deal with two aspects, two regulatory challenges of AI. One is the one we are concentrating on with this AI Act in European Union, so the daily challenges of AI for people living in our society that are affected by AI, that could be discriminatory, that could be intrusive, that could be not working well, and it should be put in this sense into control when it's in areas that are particularly sensitive when we talk about fundamental rights, safety, and health. This is what we are doing, but I think this is something we can work together at a global level on. It's something that we should work on. And the other aspects is the bigger picture of the systemic risks of AI for cybersecurity at the global level, for building a secure context of circulation of AI, when AI can be used as a weapon, we know that, and also the so-called extinction factor, the catastrophic idea around AI that could even eradicate humanity. I don't know if this is real, you know, the debate is there, but we should also look at this bigger picture that needs not merely simple and sectorial legislation or anyway legislation from various parts of the world, but a larger cooperation, so treaties, agreements that are at a global level that are able to put some rules around large language models, around the most advanced experimentation on AI, so that we can be sure together that there is no proliferation of a dangerous AI system, or that we do not lose control of the AI development. This needs to be done at a global cooperation level that is different from the mere legislation. So as you see, there are different areas, different layers on which we need to work together, and I hope we can do it together for real, continue doing it, and I hope that we can stay in touch. Thank you for your attention, and let's work together for a safe AI that is human-centric, that has an ethical base and can work for the best for all humanity. Thank you very much.
شكرا جزيلا للسيد بنيفي، شكرا جزيلا للمحاضرين على عروضهم المفيدة والقيمة. زملائي الأعزاء، يسعدني أن أمنحكم الكلمة ونرجو منكم احترام الوقت 3 دقائق، وسأقرأ على مسامعكم القائمة والتي محددة ب16 مداخلة، وأتمنى كل الحاضرين منكم من هذه القائمة المتواجدة بين يدي إعلان حضورهم في القاعة، ونعتبر هذه القائمة مغلقة in the room, in the hall. We cannot add any more speakers to the list that I just described. Thank you. Thailand.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I have
wait.
Yeah. It's okay.
مصر.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I have
من فضلك.
Please, ma'am.
Here?
Please, ma'am.
Egypt?
نيجيريا.
I see Nigeria, Syria,
كوريا الجنوبية,
South Korea, Bolivia, Chad, Burundi, Indonesia, Bahrain, Finland, Turkey, Malaysia, Laos, Algeria, Timor-Leste, in addition to one observer member, UNITE. Please, we cannot add any more speakers to this list. In our next session, we can add more speakers, but in this session, it will be impossible for us to add any more speakers. I declare the list closed for this session due to the lack of time. We do not have any time to add any more speakers. First, Thailand. Thailand, you have the floor.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, IPU and National Assembly of Vietnam for having me here. I'm here with the young MP from Thai Parliament. For Thailand, being the second largest digital economy in Southeast Asia, Thailand is determined to drive forward of the vision Digital Thailand, which aims to build a sustainable and inclusive economic growth by optimizing the use of digital solutions in all socio-economic activities, particularly the development of e-commerce and utilizing digital innovation to its fullest potential. However, the role of Thai Parliament has never been more important in the era of the Great Digital Divide. The legislative body must act to ensure that every digital policy will be inclusive, transparent, and will be effectively implemented in order to ensure that those policies will reduce existing digital gap, not widen gap, such as protecting a new tech monopoly or investing solely in an urban area, not in rural village, where affordable digital services are most needed. According to the vision of Digital Thailand, both the promise of e-government, in which all government services are digitized and more accessible, and the promise of open government, that citizens should have access to the document and proceeding of the government to allow for effective public oversight. Both promises will only be realized when parliamentary members work together in order to ensure that our government will play its leadership role to invest in our digital infrastructure and to ensure that voice of all stakeholders are heard throughout the process. There are three ways to create an enabling environment as a basis for successful digital transformation. First, strengthen high-quality digital infrastructure to ensure a free and equal access to digital economy and society, thus minimizing existing digital divide. Secondly, upgrade digital literacy and upskill the young workforce by ensuring access to formal and non-formal digital skill training and education. And finally, enhance legal environment, act as regulatory barrier, and ensure effective and swift implementation of existing legislation to make sure that all citizens from all groups can benefit from digitalization. The Pheu Thai Party, the led coalition government in Thailand, is planning to develop its own digital wallet as part of its flagship policy of the 10,000 baht or equivalent to $280 hand out to everyone that age 16 or older via smartphone. And the digital money could only be sent within 4 kilometer radius of recipient home and would be valid for 6 months. This policy is expected to stimulate consumption and spending in the country.
Thank you.
ได้ต่อมา
Masar.
ไม่ให้แล้ว
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to address you today as a young Egyptian parliamentarian to engage in such a critical topic. As for Egypt's digital transformation, it's crucial to recognize the achievements we've already made in this field. Our nation has indeed made significant strides towards a more innovative and connected future. Egypt has seen a surge in tech startups and innovation hubs. For instance, companies like Swivel and Instabug have made their mark globally, showcasing our potential as the tech-savvy nation. Our parliament has also been proactive in creating innovation-friendly policies. Egypt's commitment to expanding digital connectivity and awareness is evident. The Egyptian digital strategy has led to more increased internet penetration and initiatives like the Digital Egypt platform, which have made government services more accessible online. Also, InstaPay app for the Egyptian Central Bank has eased the banking services to the Egyptian citizens. Moreover, grassroots efforts have been made to raise digital awareness, with programs targeting the youth and the underserved communities. As the pragmatic efforts made to ensure equitable access to technology have not gone unnoticed. The Tahya Masr Long Life Egypt Fund has worked to provide tablets to students in unprivileged areas, enabling e-learning during challenging times. Nevertheless, mobile network expansion to rural areas is also bringing digital access to more Egyptians. These achievements are testaments to our commitment to progress. However, it's vital that we continue to innovate, expand digital infrastructure, and invest in the education and skills development of our people. By building on these accomplishments and addressing the challenges ahead, we can truly ensure that no one is left behind in Egypt's digital journey. Let us unite in our determination to shape a brighter, more inclusive, and digitally empowered future to all nations. And thank you.
شكرا لك. نيجيريا.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the Parliament here gathered. My name is Senator Asukwe Ekweyo, representing the Nigerian Senate. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the people of Vietnam for hosting this conference and, of course, for the warm welcome they've accorded us. To the theme of this conference, digital transformation, some may argue that Nigeria and perhaps Africa has traditionally showed up at the various industrial revolutions a bit late. But I can say confidently that Nigeria is presently on the verge and on the cusp of participating in this fourth industrial revolution, the Internet of Things, which has to do with connectivity. Nigeria as a country has a comparatively young population, and they are blessed with innovation and creativity, and we are well poised to take advantage of this fourth industrial revolution. So to my question, beyond this conference and gathering here today, I would like to ask what practical role the Inter-Parliamentary Union aims to play in further enhancing and furthering this year's theme of digital transformation beyond this gathering here today as the member countries depart to their various nations. On this note, I'd like to yield the microphone to my colleague from the National Assembly, Nigerian National Assembly, Darlington Wokocha.
Thank you. I want to salute each and every one of you. I'm Representative Darlington Wokocha from the Nigerian Senate. Just to throw some light into what my colleague has said, I think the digital transformation as far as Nigeria is concerned is one that has really earned a whole lot of mark. For instance, sharing in this cross-pollination of ideas, I think Nigeria today have used the postcode services, which has 774 units in 774 local governments to spread across the digital transformation where people without services, network services, can come up to do some financial transactions. And also in the judicial system today, prior to this time, Nigeria has developed an app, the system, the government, both the legislature, coming in partnership with the executive, develop an app which has helped to bring up the rulings of all manner of justices within real time, where a particular ruling in a particular area can come up and you can access the information within real time. But that notwithstanding as well, the governance and policy practices which has so much embedded within the establishment of community development services, that's the CDS, in all communities.
سيدي شكرا لك.
Yes.
الوقت جد ضيق ولهذا أطلب من كل الزملاء احترام الوقت حتى نستطيع كلنا التدخل وإعطاء الفرصة لزميلنا الآخر أن يعطينا تجربته في هذه الدولة. سوريا. الآن أحيل الكلمة إلى سوريا.
Yes, I have to round up really. because the theme of this discourse, which has to do with youth and the SDG in Parliament. Actually, the youth today, which are the springboard, in Nigeria, the...
Please. شكرا. أحيل الكلمة إلى الأخوة في سوريا.
نشكر الاتحاد البرلماني الدولي وجمهورية الفيتنام الاشتراكية على استضافة هذا المؤتمر الغاية في الأهمية في عالم يزداد ترابطاً ورقمية وفي ظل تحديات كثيرة تواجهنا. وموضوع مؤتمرنا هذا تناولته سابقاً إذ كان موضوع بحثي لنيل رسالة الماجستير في الإدارة عام 2019 تحت عنوان دور الحكومة الإلكترونية في التنمية البشرية. استلهمت العنوان من مدى أهميته ومن خطاب القسم للسيد الرئيس الدكتور بشار الأسد عام 2007 عندما دعا للتحول الرقمي والشفافية والإصلاح الإداري. فكان لابد لنا بعد حرب دامت لسنوات عديدة بعد أن أشعل فتيلها العالم الافتراضي لتطال نارها واقعنا وحياتنا وسلامتنا وقوت يومنا. دارت رحاها على أرضنا لتطحن عظامنا وأحلامنا معا. بعد هذه الحرب وأثنائها
We have to see that after a long time of physical war, we are facing a new form of war.
وإصدار الكثير من التشريعات المنظمة للجوانب التقنية في ظل التطور المتسارع الذي يميزها مثل قانون تنظيم التواصل على الشبكة ومكافحة الجريمة الإلكترونية. ولكن
if we are to overcome the new threats of war and word of we have also been suffering war. We have also suffered from isolation, and access to digital infrastructure is very difficult for us. And for this reason, I would like to take this opportunity to call on all of you to support us so that the isolation and embargo against the Syrian people would be lifted. Our message to the people of Vietnam is this. We have been here for a very short time, but we are very grateful. I could feel the hospitality of the Vietnamese people to our delegation. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are always on your side with Syria and the people of Syria. Next, the ROK.
청년의회 대표단 여러분 반갑습니다. 대한민국 국회 대표단장 지성호 의원입니다. 이제 9차를 맞이한 IPU 세계 청년 의원회의에서 대한민국 국회를 대표하여 발언하게 되어 진심으로 기쁘게 생각합니다. 먼저 이번 회의를 성공적으로 개최해 주신 부엉 디 후의 베트남 국회의장님과 회의 사무국에 감사와 축하의 말씀을 전합니다. 디지털 전환이란 디지털 기술 혁신을 통해 과학기술 분야뿐만 아니라 기업, 사회, 제도까지 변화하는 과정을 의미합니다. 디지털 기술의 발전하면서 우리는 휴대전화 하나로 전 세계와 연결되었고 축적된 데이터를 통해 미래에 대한 예측이 가능하게 되었으며 이제는 인공지능과 로봇의 발전 등 인간의 역량을 모방하는 기술 혁신까지 직면하고 있습니다. 대한민국은 2008년 지능형 로봇 개발 및 로봇 촉진법을 제정하고 지능형 로봇의 지속가능한 개발과 보급을 위한 제도적 기반을 마련해 왔습니다. 하지만 최근 로봇 산업이 인공지능과의 결합으로 급속히 성장하면서 부시대적인 규제를 철폐하고 책임, 피해, 대응에 대해서는 더욱 보완적인 제도적 개선이 요구되고 있습니다. 특히 급속히 성장하고 있는 자율주행 배달 로봇에 대한 법률적 기반을 마련하고 운행 안전 인증 제도와 같이 로봇이 도보 통행으로 인해 발생할 수 있는 위험 문제를 사전에 방지하기 위한 안전망 구축이 필요하다는 의견이 제기되었습니다. 저는 현행법에 대한 제도적 보완이 필요하다는 의견에 공감하며 동 내용을 골자로 하는 개정안 발의에 동참하였고 개정안은 올해 5월 본회의 거쳐 가결되었습니다. 청년 의원 여러분, 디지털 기술 발전의 가능성은 무궁무진합니다. 청년 법률가로서 우리는 현행법의 한계가 기술 발전의 걸림돌이 되지 않도록 디지털 사회 발전을 더 기민하게 분석하고 새로운 기술의 혁신이 사회에 미칠 수 있는 위험 상황들을 사전에 예방하도록 더욱 노력해야 합니다. 그것이 디지털 네이티브 세대와 디지털 이민자 세대의 가교로서 저희 세대가 부여받은 역할이라고 생각합니다. 경청해 주셔서 감사합니다.
شكرا. الآن دولة بوليفيا.
Hermanos y hermanas, en primer lugar quiero destacar el papel de la tecnología en la economía boliviana. En los últimos años Bolivia ha experimentado un auge en la industria tecnológica con la creación de numerosas startups y empresas de tecnología que han generado empleos y han contribuido significativamente al crecimiento económico de nuestro país. Uno de los hitos más destacados en el avance tecnológico de Bolivia ha sido la expansión de la conectividad a Internet. El acceso al Internet de alta velocidad se ha vuelto cada vez más accesible para los bolivianos. Esto ha impulsado la educación en línea, el comercio electrónico y la comunicación, permitiendo a las personas acceder a información y servicios de manera más rápida. Además, nuestro gobierno ha estado trabajando en la promoción de la educación, ciencia y tecnología en las escuelas y universidades del país. Esto ha llevado a un aumento en el número de jóvenes bolivianos interesados en carreras tecnológicas y científicas. La inversión de nuestro gobierno en educación y capacitación en tecnología es fundamental para mantener el impulso de la innovación y garantizar que Bolivia continúe creciendo en este campo. Hace 10 años lanzamos nuestro primer satélite al espacio, el Pajcatari. Este proyecto es un ejemplo claro del compromiso de Bolivia con el desarrollo tecnológico y la independencia en el ámbito de las comunicaciones. Con la llegada del Pajcatari, el país
to have stronger steps ahead, especially in digital technology. We have achieved a measure of self-reliance in telecommunications, gaining access to digital and telecommunications infrastructure that previously was unavailable. We have ensured national coverage of telecommunications. This is vital for education, healthcare, including remote diagnosis, remote training and education. All of these have not been available to us previously. It would be amiss not to mention the challenges this has posed to us. First, fairness. How can we make it that there is no inequality in internet access? How can we make it so that people can gain non-discriminatory access to the internet? That is certainly a challenge. Naturally, we have to share experience to do this. In addition to that, we need a proper plan, we need a proper action, a concrete action to ensure that everyone can gain solid access to the internet without being left behind. Thank you.
Monsieur le Président de la séance, Mesdames et Messieurs les parlementaires, chers amis, d'abord je remercie nos dirigeants qui nous ont autorisés à participer à cet événement important.
At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving us access to this event. Thank you for having us here in Vietnam, a very beautiful country indeed. They say friendship has no distance. We come from a very far place away. And when we come to Vietnam, we do not feel like we are truly from that far away, because we're all friends here. And the world is a truly connected world. The participation of the entire society, the entire people, not just government bodies, not just legislators. Every year we have concrete programs in place to accelerate youth participation. This requires young people to be attracted to new technology. They have to feel like new technology belongs to them. And we are well aware that on top of benefits, there are also challenges, especially related to the protection of privacy. And for this reason, it is important for data to be carefully utilized so data would not be abused. There has to be strategies, there has to be concrete measures to protect data safety and security. The Chadian Parliament, with a large proportion of youth, have made efforts to build legal frameworks in order to ensure the rights and freedoms hand in hand with the development of digital technology, so that all of this can be ensured while still guaranteeing data safety and privacy. There are also frameworks in place to ensure access from all of the broad mass of public. Clearly, digital transformation is a great advantage. It is beneficial to economic development and job creation. And fairness and equality is the question that we have to pose. Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to speak on behalf of Burundi. In our country, the government has made a lot of effort to develop the digital space. Our country supplied digital transformation in governance. We also provide support to digital transformation program at the national level. We're also providing support to the people's access to the internet. The internet is widely used in urban centers in our country, and digital application is also very prevalent, including in taxation and other public services. However, in our country, the digital gap between urban areas and rural areas remains large, and we have to face a lot of challenges. In order to reduce this gap, our president seeks to create an alliance of associations in order to make good use of digital gains to reduce poverty and unemployment. We have implemented a wide range of mechanisms to provide digital support, such as in banking, women's banking, using digital technology. Our government is also well aware that innovation must be of the foremost priority in our policies. We have training courses in place to build capacity We have conferences and meetings and engagement to ensure that the private sector and the broad mass of people, as well as public outfits, can be fully educated as to the impact of the digital transformation revolution. We wish to engage with you, especially fostering exchange between the young people in the innovation sector, as this is decisive in economic development. Additionally, we also seek to forge good partnership for the common joint development of projects to make full use of new technologies to this end. Thank you. Indonesia.
Thank you, moderator. Distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Gilang de la Flores. I'm Vice Chair for Interparliamentary Cooperation, the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia. As one of the most rapidly expanding digital economies in the Southeast Asia, according to the World Bank report, it is anticipated that by 2025, Indonesia's digital economy will have grown at annual growth rate of 19% and will total $130 billion. The digital economy of Indonesia is also forecast to increase eightfold in less than 10 years. Despite of this development, Indonesia must take steps to guarantee that all of its citizens, particularly young people and those who live in rural areas, have access to various digital technology and services and can be benefit from them. Comprising of 144 million, which is 53% of the population, the young people will play an important role in Indonesia's digital transformation, known as the Generation Z and the Millennial. The young people will becoming the center of transformation through sharing of the know-how of all digital things to the rest of the population. The business will also need to utilize technology and employ more employees who specifically understand digital technology by 2030. Indonesia will require 17 million workforce to support the digital economy. Moreover, aside from 204 million internet users in Indonesia, there are still 26.3% of Indonesia remain offline in the beginning of 2022. So digital divide has narrowed, but it's still one of our main priority, which is why this is very important that Parliament support the digital transformation agenda. To that end, the Indonesian House has provided legislative support to strengthen the digital economy, which is aimed at improving digital infrastructure, among others, through allocation the budget to build BTS through the country. Further, in order to foster digital inclusion, Indonesia has passed Omnibus Law, which will accommodate effort to develop digital transition and digital economy through expansion of broadband infrastructure development, tariff regulation to protect public interest and fair business competition. There is also a law on telecommunication to enhance digital connectivity across Indonesia and encourage progress on e-commerce. At the executive level, the government has launched a program that will focus on 6 strategies areas such as develop a secure and reliable digital infrastructure, increase digital capability in prior sector to increase competitiveness and promote inclusive growth, transform Indonesia from a consumer to a technology producer.
Shukran. Thank you. Bahrain.
Bahrain, go ahead, please.
Bahrain. Finland.
Dear Chairman, dear colleagues, Finland has long been ranked at the top of the world in education. It has been important for us to invest in research so that teachers have the best tools to support children's learning. We believe that high-quality education equalizes the chances of people from different backgrounds to succeed in life. This creates the basis for a strong society where no one is left behind. By investing in competence, we create the basis for a society that is able to transform in a rapidly changing world and to innovate and respond to the challenges of our time. As part of the development of education, in Finland we have been among the first to utilize the possibilities of digitalization. For a long time, the use of mobile devices has been part of the classroom environment, and we use a lot of electronic learning materials. However, early research results have given alarming signs. Namely, there are also serious risks associated with the digital environment. Through mobile devices, you are connected to everything else than what is happening in the classroom. You will constantly receive notifications what would happen elsewhere. A small child's brain is in a sensitive stage of development, and moreover, the mind is curious. It is impossible for a child to learn to control themselves, their actions, because of course they want to see what is behind the phone notification. If this is already a problem for us adults, how much more easily do children become addicted to mobile stimulants and aimless browsing? This deprives the child of the opportunity to develop their ability to concentrate and hinders deep learning. As legislators, we should take these perspectives into account as the digital transformation permeates our education system. Thank you.
شكرا. Turkey.
Thank you very much, Turkey.
Honorable guests, distinguished participants, dear colleagues, it is my pleasure to address you here today and have the opportunity to explain how Turkey is proceeding on its digitalization journey. We are experiencing a unique increase in the use of and demand for digital technologies in all segments of society. Like the rest of the world, Turkey has also embraced digital. Accelerating digitalization of the government is one of the most important responsibilities of our country. The technical infrastructure of digital government in Turkey is comprised of two basic elements, namely the institutional IT systems and the e-government gateway. The e-government gateway was launched in 2008 with only a small number of services available. Since then, both the number of public services delivered through the portal and their volume of use rose gradually. After its establishment in 2018, our Digital Transformation Office has put great effort in increasing both the number of public services available on e-government gateway and their maturity level. The e-government gateway is the one-stop shop for businesses and citizens to access e-government services. E-government gateway is a portal where more than thousands of public services provided by nearly thousands of government agencies and some utility companies can be accessed and used electronically by more than 61.8 million users as of a day. Both the traffic on our portal and citizen satisfaction improved strongly in the last few years. According to the World Bank GovTech Maturity Index, published in November 2022, our country ranked 18th and positioned in the GovTech Leaders cluster. In 2022, number of logins to the e-government gateway exceeded 3.5 million, which was just above 1 billion in 2018. We have achieved considerable progress regarding e-government in the last decade, but what we did was basically moving traditional public services to the electronic environment. We are also closely monitoring international trends and debates regarding digital government in order to further improve our policies and bring them in compliance with modern and widely accepted approaches. We believe that we will further increase our work to contribute to the e-government gateway and will reshape e-government to modern standards. Thank you so much.
شكرا. Malaysia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Malaysia Young Parliamentarians in sharing our experience and our milestones in digital transformations. My fellow young parliamentarians, as we stand at the verge of a digital revolution, Malaysia is steadfast in its commitment to fostering a digitally inclusive society. Our National Digital Network Plan, Jendela, is a monumental step in this direction. Its aim to bridge the digital divide and ensure that every Malaysian, irrespective of their geographical location, has access to high-speed internet and digital services. To nurture a generation that is adept at navigating the digital landscape, we have integrated digital education in our curriculum, emphasizing critical thinking and digital literacy from a young age. Our firm belief is that empowering our youth with digital skills is synonymously with equipping them for the future. In this digital age, cybersecurity stands as a pillar of trust. We are committed for safeguarding the digital assets and sensitive data of our citizens through robust cybersecurity infrastructure, fostering a digital environment where security and privacy are not just assured but guaranteed. My fellow young parliamentarians, our vision for Malaysia is a nation where digitalization drives economic growth through initiatives encouraging e-commerce and digital entrepreneurship guided meticulously by Malaysia Digital Economic Blueprint. We are nurturing a digital ecosystem that is vibrant, innovative, and inclusive. As we forge ahead, the Malaysian government is embracing digitalization in its operations, enhancing efficiency and transparency in service delivery through digital government initiative. We are not just bringing the government closer to the people, but also opening avenues for participate governance, where every citizen has a voice. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Shukran. Laos.
Thank you. Lao, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. I'm from Laos. The Lao PDR also takes into account of the role and importance of young participation in this fight of work by integrating it with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals until 2030 and economic social development strategy for 10 years to promote the digital transformation of the Lao PDR. At the same time, the Lao PDR has a national committee to transform the digitalization of the Lao PDR into guidelines, strategies, policies, plans, and mechanisms for the implementation of the country's digital transformation. The digital transformation in Lao PDR has been carried out in 3 areas, namely, create a digital economy, create a digital society, and create a digital state administration. In addition, the Lao PDR has been promoting and expanding the use of digital technology widely and highly effective for young people in every sector, such as blockchain technology, AI, high-speed internet, Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, e-wallet, e-transactions, e-payment, and virtual reality information that will have increased the strength of the people. Entrepreneurs can create new opportunities, new services for rapid change, progressing to the progressive development of the economic, social, and public administration. As a member of the Young Parliaments, I would like to take this opportunity to call on members to promote the participation of young people in the implementation of the use of technology and digital transformation at all levels, especially in less developed countries. Finally, everyone who is born, the law stipulates that they have equal rights, but everyone's opportunities are not the same. Therefore, the digital transformation of each country may be different depending on the possibility of each country. So how to support, how to help, this is very important. Thank you.
شكرا لك.
Thank you very much.
الجزائر.
Algeria, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. the Chair. Fellow MPs, delegates, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. First and foremost, I would like to thank the IPU for granting us the opportunity to discuss this topic. Also, our special thanks to the Vietnam and to the National Assembly of Vietnam for hosting such an important event. I stand before you today as the youngest senator representing the upper chamber of the Algeria platform with the aim of digitizing essential services, ranging from insurance to business license and beyond. According to the latest data, this platform has served more than 2 million Algerians, including a striking 60% of youth engagement rate. As for the SDG impact, this is important for achieving the SDG as digital governance has an efficiency. The second success story as digital governance has an efficiency. The second success story is bridging the digital divides, the Algeria Connect program. We realize the digital governance is futile if our citizens can't access to this digital service. Thus, the Algeria Connect program came into existence. As for 2021, we have laid down more than 30,000 kilometers of fiber optics, connecting remote villages to bustling cities. As for the SDG impact, such an infrastructure is not just technological feat, it's a social equalizer. It brings us one step closer to achieving SDG 9, focusing on reducing inequalities. Our role as young parliamentarians, we should advocate for additional programs like digital literacy boot camps to arm our citizenry with skills needed to navigate this new digital landscape. Just another point, last point. Yeah. With over 50% of the population under the age of 30, Algeria faces both challenge and opportunity. We've initiated programs to provide tablets and high school internet connectivity to schools, particularly in rural area. Our role.
شكرا. الآن تيمور الشرقية.
Thank you. I give the floor now to Timor-Leste.
Thank you very much. Sorry, the microphone is not working. Oh, it's working now. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to all the delegates. I would like to share about improving institutions and policies to promote digital transformation. The e-government and digital services are one of the priorities by advocating digital government services to streamline bureaucracy and to enhance transparency and efficiency. As outlined in our Strategic Development Plan 2011-2030, that by 2020, modern information technology will have been adopted by the civil service to support join-up government and e-government initiative. The government of Timor-Leste approved the National Policy for ICT 2017-2019 through Government Resolution number 9, 2017. Create the public institutions TIC Timor to implement the policy and strategy of ICT, manage information networking and other public institutions, including managing the ICT infrastructure and support in ICT and information systems. The government of Timor-Leste adopted and has been using the free balance system since 2000 across the ministries, departments and agencies, representing 4 levels of hierarchy in the government. The web-based free balance accountability suite automates all public finance transactions related to the budget, including budget preparation, expenditure controls, government audit, procurement, monitoring, reporting, civil service payroll, and external reporting and transparency, Free Balance 2020-22. Furthermore, the Free Balance system also supports us as members of Parliament to exercise our oversight role to track all the public finance expenditures across the ministries and state institutions. According to European Union's PEFA assessment, Timor-Leste has been undergoing a continued process of public finance management reform since it became independent in 2002, and its approach to PFM or public finance management reforms mirrors the remarkable commitment and good progress achieved in nation building. Thank you very much for listening.
شكرا.
Thank you.
Portugal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues. In Portugal, we want to empower the Portuguese towards a more digital nation. I would like to share our latest project called Portugal Digital Academy. It was created in 2022 so that all citizens at the various stages of life can improve their digital skills, meeting the objective referred in this panel, no one is left behind. Not only we want to ensure the digital inclusion of everyone in society, but also to improve the skills of workers with a view to maintaining employment and their progression in the labor market. Besides that, it's our priority to support unemployment young people, promoting their employability, and at the same time contribute to the digital transformation of organizations indispensable to guarantee the sustainable development. Issues related to cybersecurity, data processing, digital marketing are examples of topics that are included in the training, because we want to be more digital, more competitive, more productive, more efficient, aligning with the goals of sustainable development, decisive for our economic and social growth and to the reduction of poverty. There are 94 million euros mobilized under the Recovery and Resilience Program so that all Portuguese may have access to technology and the same opportunities to follow the digital evolution and turn this into a real opportunity and not an obstacle. Thank you very much.
شكرا.
Thank you very much.
أحيل الكلمة إلى دولة البحرين.
I would like to give the floor now to Bahrain.
شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
يستفيد العالم اليوم من سرعة التطور التكنولوجي، والشباب هم أكبر المستفيدين من هذا التطور، فهم أكبر شريحة تستخدم التكنولوجيا اليوم. لكن مع هذا التحول والتطور يتزامن مع أيضا تحديات كبيرة في تحول سوق العمل وفقدان كثير من الوظائف التقليدية اللي موجودة في سوق العمل اللي الشباب مدرب ومؤهل لها. لذلك لابد من حماية فئة الشباب من هذا التحول في سوق العمل وتدريبهم وتأهيلهم وتمكينهم من التحول التكنولوجي اللي حاصل. احنا في مملكة البحرين قدمنا عدد من المبادرات وأنشأنا عدد من الصناديق اللي تدعم الشباب للتعامل مع هذا التحول في سوق العمل عن طريق تدريبهم وتأهيلهم وكذلك تقديم التمويل اللازم لمشاريعهم اللي في قطاع التكنولوجيا، وبالتالي يستفيدون ويخلقون وظائف وفرص، وأيضا يخلقون وظائف وفرص للشباب الآخرين من خلال هذا التحول. فلا بد مع تبنينا هذا التطور اللي حاصل في التكنولوجيا أن نراعي التحول المتزامن في سوق العمل والتغييرات الهيكلية في سوق العمل ودعم الشباب للتعامل مع هذه الأضرار اللي حاصلة معهم. شكرا.
Thank you very much.
الآن أحيل الكلمة إلى المنظمة الملاحظة Unite.
To an observer organization, Unite. You have the floor.
Greetings to all distinguished participants. My name is Arshia Singh and I'm the Policy Coordinator for the Digital Health Hub at Unite Parliamentarians Network for Global Health. With 400 current and former parliamentarians and more than 100 countries, Unite is the only network of parliamentarians from around the world currently focusing on the global health agenda. Today, innovation is so fast that SDGs cannot be discussed without harnessing the power of digital in health. Young parliamentarians are uniquely placed to understand the issues faced by our generation and leverage digital technologies to promote good governance in health and strengthen national legislations. Today, I would like to call all of you, every single change maker here, to acknowledge global health as a prerequisite for sustainable development goals and economic growth. We have seen the repercussions of COVID-19 pandemic on economies worldwide, whether rich or poor. As such, I urge you all to not only keep health at the center of our discussions, but also beyond this conference in starting to incorporate it in the national, legislative, and elective agendas. It is well noted that digital health is an accelerator to achieve universal health coverage. However, given the speed at which digital technologies are growing, there are really mechanisms in place that can take care in terms of legislations. Parliamentarians have a unique privilege and the expertise to influence national policies and enable innovation in health, ensure safe use of health data, and inclusive access for digital health technologies for all. At Unite, we aim to support parliamentarians in translating scientific evidence into action. For example, we helped MPs of Ecuador to formulate a digital health legislation by providing them with expert opinions, by facilitating exchange and perspectives from amongst regions and MPs from all across the world. Health for all is curbing the digital access divides. Hence, we need urgent policy reforms in the following areas. Adopt sustainable financing models for digital public goods, and MPs can persuade governments to increase funds for health. Strengthen health data governance. Data protection and privacy laws maximize the potential of health data sharing within and across borders, promoting innovation, but they also help manage risks and protect individual rights. Thirdly, ensure equitable response to technological innovation. Regions like EU, UK, and US already are starting to talk about AI and health system surveillance policies. The rest of the world also needs legislations to enable it to reap the equitable benefits of AI, blockchain, and others. We cannot afford another layer of digital divide because of a lack of legislation. Finally, we need to digitally enable workforce that can keep up with the innovation in health and deliver care that reaches even the most marginalized groups. Parliamentarians will be key for the SDGs. We need a set to clear priorities, establish new partnerships, and promote innovative ideas to harness the potential of digital health. It is imperative that we all have a health and policy approach. Thank you.
شكرا لكم جميعا، شكرا على مداخلتكم القيمة، شكرا على مشاركتكم تجاربكم القيمة من كل بلاد ومن كل قطر. الآن أرجع إلى المحاضرين، الإخوة المحاضرين. أود أن أعطي كلمات لهم لتكون موجزة بدقيقة واحدة. أبدأ الكلمة مستر ماريوس.
Mr. Marius, you can go first. You have 1 minute, sir.
In my concluding remarks, I was hoping to hear from as many from you varying experiences, and it happened. You touched a lot of topics. Finland's topic about the school really touched my brain, and I think the experiences that we have here show that there's a lot of work to be done. And this proves that there's a value in sitting here and listening to each other. I want to thank you very much.
Shukran.
Thank you very much. Mr. Metu, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, our moderator. I agree with all of you that there is still a lot of work to be done as we gear up to achieving our 2030 goals. But as I said earlier, all these will require that we are deliberate in our budgeting and national budgets as parliamentarians, because we have been given that task of ensuring that we follow the money to the talk that we've given here, so that all these programs that we've spoken about are well adequately resourced, even as we budget for roads, even as we budget for hospitals, even as we budget for water for our communities. We also must be deliberate in ensuring that we give enough resources to ensure that this particular dream that we have of ensuring that we have a digitally literate community around the globe will be achieved. Thank you very much.
شكرا لك.
Thank you very much.
شكرا لكم جميعا.
Thank you everyone.
لضيق الوقت قرر أن نلغي فترة الاستراحة أو فترة القهوة ونكمل
give up on our coffee break and continue with our debate. I will give over the chairmanship of the session to Mr. Soto, William Soto from Peru.